Hi, my name is Dwayne Arthur Jones. I am a public speaker and author. I just written a book called The Homeless Poet, Writing from Main Street to Capitol Hill, Influencing Legislation Through Poetry. It is available on Amazon.com for $18.65. I write about social political commentary and I put it in poetic compositions. I write about current issues and topics and how these issues are being debated and how these issues are being communicated. And I put the conflicts of how we discuss these issues in poetry. And I storytell and I include provisions of the United States Constitution, which is threaded throughout my poetry to support positions and statements I make. This book is about making laws, and it is designed with legislators in mind. I encourage all legislators at the county, the state, the federal levels of government to buy this book before we decide to legislate policies influencing a community that our laws may not be as helpful to one community as they may to the next. So it's really, my thought as an author in writing this book was, in order to change laws, we have to appeal to the legislator. And my poetry is designed to appeal to them, the sensitivity, the empathy that we need to have as people, as legislators, legislating laws that could ultimately impair communities and disengage cultures. So I encourage everyone to go on Amazon to get it. It's wonderful, if I say so myself. The purpose of this video is to talk about voting 2020 and COVID-19. And though we are addressing the COVID-19 at a somewhat urgent, relaxed pace, but the pacing is beginning to accelerate, there are a lot more foreseeable things that I think we should also be discussing as well. Doesn't necessarily mean that we need to divert all our attention to a lot of foreseeable things scheduled to happen in the months to follow. But it needs to be part of the discussion. And I am proposing some talks around voting 2020. There's a hashtag that I'm looking to start. This hashtag is Vote Against COVID-19 2020. We are 8 months away from the 2020 elections. And we haven't reached the middle of this pandemic with a solution. So the worst case scenario is we postpone the November 11th election a day, extending President Trump's term in office. May not be appealing to half of the country, but there's a half of the country that it does appeal to. We are closing restaurants, restricting and limiting the time the general public is spending in public spaces. We are recommending unofficial curfews. We've reduced our dining experiences to takeout, our entertainment to streaming services, and the run of the errands. We've reduced it to clicking buttons and pressing send without ever leaving the home. We've reduced our gatherings from 250 to 50 to 10. We've implemented social distancing as a social policy without regulations and guidelines. For example, restaurants. Tables and chairs are spaced 6 feet apart. That would be a guideline. Owners and personnel working at these restaurants can implement that. But how does spacing and distancing work when we're standing in line, like at the post office, in the grocery store, when sharing the sidewalk, walking in front or behind people? We reduce seating capacity and are instructed to disallow lines forming out of our business establishments. Well, if we're reducing lines and discouraging business owners to not allow lines to form outside their establishment, I don't know what we're going to do for the on election day. So that's what this video is about. Is to start getting us thinking and talking and thinking of some solutions. We've canceled outdoor events and parades. We've played games in empty stadiums, to now suspending sports season and thinking about postponing the DNC convention. Businesses are closing and cutting hours and cutting pay. We are earning no money, but we're spending money and accruing debt. So my question is, why wait to find out how we should address this issue for November 11th? I have some suggestions, which is what we can do is we can schedule tentative election dates in November and December, and possibly going into January of 2021 without an election. We can send voting ballots mandating voting by mail. And if that is something that we really consider, then we need to start getting this mail out right away to everybody. We can require residents to provide proof of COVID-19 free status before attending any voting poll places. And lastly, we can set up a vote by phone system. Press 1 for Donald J. Trump, or press 2 for I don't know who. In closing, let us not wait until November 11th by not addressing how this pandemic could potentially affect Election Day. Let's meet as a Congress. Let's meet as a legislature. Let's meet as a city. Let's meet as a community and discuss some foreseeable issues that could be a concern and in effect deny us our right to vote. And if we take the steps now to, as we are with mitigating the spread of COVID-19, we can take the steps to ensure that we are all able to vote this November 11th. I encourage our state and federal legislators to begin discussions by itemizing worst case scenarios and proposing measures for we the people to vote as solutions. Hashtag vote against COVID-19 2020. I thank you for listening. My name is Dwayne Arthur Jones. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. These are all relatively new accounts for me, and I'm just getting the hang of it. But I'm looking forward to listening to you. I'm looking forward and thankful for you listening to me. And I'm looking forward to hearing your comments. Please leave me comments. And lastly, buy my book. It's available on Amazon.com, The Homeless Poet, Writing from Main Street to Capitol Hill, Influencing Legislation Through Poetry. Thank you.